Alright, welcome back to another video. Today's video we're going to be covering the latest update to Ghost Simulator, update 1.161. In this update, we actually got quite a bit of new features, or what I would consider new features based on programming them. I don't know exactly what your guys' opinions are. You guys can let me know in the comments if your opinion differs. Like, maybe you guys think this is such a small update that this should have been like half an update. I will tell you though, it did require quite a bit more work than most updates do, so don't expect this kind of update every single week. Anyways, in this update, the biggest thing that was added in most of the thumbnails is actually a new area that was added in Backdoor in River City as the bank. This comes along with a new quest and a new feature to go ahead and store pets and boards in the bank. This NPC, to talk to him, you'll actually need to get antenna level 21, which is actually specified by this biome, so it isn't going to be like Blue Bunny where people are struggling to figure out how to get to it. They'll immediately get here and see that they need antenna level 21. The NPC itself is also locked behind second arc, so you do need to go ahead and get a rebirth to go ahead and see it. But most of this is pretty self-explanatory, and most people will be able to do. This is because this is sort of a end-game quest line, meant more for people who are able to store their limited or events or promo pets and boards, since that's all that can go into the bank. And the quests are difficult because of how it is more tied to the end-game part of Ghost Simulator rather than new players. Overall, it's a pretty difficult quest, with the last quest requiring you to grab one of every single ghost in the game, including bosses like Final, Great Guardian, and all the main hub bosses and whatnot. It does not require you to have the Ghostly Vision or Lucky Eyes perk, since those bosses do not actually count for the collection, but other than that, all the other bosses are required. In addition to this, it has quite a bit of currency collection quests that will take a while if you don't have good pets or X-Gum, so make sure once you do get to quests like collect Ecto Tokens, collect souls, to be using your best pets and X-Gum while grinding, since those can be somewhat difficult. Now, on top of this, the bank feature itself, I don't have access to at the moment, but as I said before, it can only store limited event and promo items, and in addition to that, it can also only store one of each pet and board in the game at a time, and any pets that you store will have their level reset to level 1 if you take them back out. Or if you leave them in, I mean, it technically gets erased when they put in, but you won't notice until you take them back out, just because level doesn't really exist. Anyways, in addition to this, you are capped at a 50 storage, but you can upgrade it for gems. It starts at 250 million gems to get 50 more pet storage, and then you can buy 50 more for a price that doubles each time. So the next one to go from 100 to 150 would be 500 million, and then a billion to go from 150 to 200, and on up until 64 billion, where it gets over the cap. At that point, you'll be at 500 storage, and you'll no longer be able to buy more storage. Overall, this can be pretty helpful if you're a player like me or other end game players that have a lot of events, limiteds, and promo items, as you guys can see. And you're able to go ahead and store these, and they don't take up space in your inventory, and will make unboxing quite a bit easier. But as for a casual player, like if it's hard to complete the quest, you might not even want to worry about doing Rich-ards, and might want to just come back to them later when you have better pets and actual stuff to store. In addition to this, there's a few other smaller changes. Like, for instance, if we go over to Remnant Zone, there's now new music throughout the whole Remnant Zone, with it using an unused old Ghost World thing that quite a few people have actually found out. So if you go over here, you'll notice that once the main hub music stops playing and we actually load in, that we have a little bit of a different music going on in Remnant Zone. You might or might not like it. That's up to you, but it should make it a little bit more distinct from some other worlds and give it a little bit different feel. In addition to that, there's quite a bit of rebalancing and bug fix, or there's like 2 or 3 bug fixes, not as many as there is rebalancing. But in terms of rebalancing, the incinerator was kind of nerfed. The gum loot bag that people can go ahead and buy for cheap was gone ahead and removed in favor of adding cheaper basic gums, including loot, vacuum, and X-Gum, to more help people, new players, to go ahead and progress and use it. This might be changed in the future. I kind of thought that this would be somewhat helpful for people to be able to buy what they need, but I do probably need to add a few other things to Incinerator, because the Incinerator shop is a little bit still underutilized, I feel like. In addition to that, crate keys the rate that they drop from the Lucky Lord's pot is cut in half. It used to be, I think, a 30% chance to get 1 to 3 crate keys. It is now a 15% chance. Not a huge deal. You'll still get crown keys and everything else in the loot bag at the same rate, but it was a bit overpowered in terms of crate key grinding, so it did get a slight nerf like that. In addition, the effect of Nitro Loot Gum, this is maybe a big one, was actually nerfed. So if we go ahead here and unequip our turbocharger and go ahead and equip a Nitro Loot Gum, for instance, enchant Nitro Loot Gum, this usually made you go super fast. Now it'll just make you go slightly fast. It's kind of hard to see when I'm running at 5 FPS and literally can't move, but the speed that you'll get is a lot more manageable. For instance, if we go ahead and unequip this gum and equip a normal enchanted Nitro Gum from the right here, if we go ahead and use this, you'll see that it's actually much slower when you're using the Nitro, or using the Nitro Loot Gum variant versus just Nitro Gum. This is hopefully to make it a little bit more usable, since it is a godly gum. It does kind of want to be a little bit more usable. In addition to this, there's a few other things, like some promo tags and stuff are removed. A few other things were balanced. The big one, though, is the base pet storage is actually got slightly increased. Before, the maximum storage on both was 1,050. Now it's 1,100. This came in the bus of some game passes or base storage. For pets, the base storage went from 30 to 50, and then the cheaper pet game pass that used to give 70 went up from 70 to 100. And then for boards, it was the cheaper boards went from 150 to 200. Overall, that's a 50 increase in storage if you have everything, and then it's also a base of 66% increase for new players for pets, so that should help quite a bit. And yeah, that is the entirety of the update. Again, let me know if you guys like or dislike the bank perk. I do know it's a bit more endgame orientated than some other stuff, and a lot of people probably aren't going to find it super helpful, like for instance my ult or most new players. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this does cover everything in the update. If I did miss something, you know, in the comment section. I might have missed a few things, but we'll go ahead and clear anything up that I see missing in a pinned comment if that is the case. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys later for another update video in about 2 weeks. Bye!